Hey everybody, I want to welcome you all back to my YouTube channel, and if you're visiting for the first time, thank you for coming. Happy to have you. So, throughout this journey, I'm all about embrace, embrace, embrace. I literally feel like I say that in every single conversation that I have with everyone. Because I'm all about, embracing the good and the bad throughout just life in general, but especially throughout this journey. The other day, I just had one of the most rough moments ever throughout this journey. I feel like when you are good mentally and emotionally, like you are good. When your heart is right and your head is right, you're good. And like everything else is right. If your heart and your head ain't right, then nothing else is right. And so the other day, I was having a really, really rough day, rough morning. I was trying to get dressed so that I could go to church. I bought this beautiful dress. It was a beautiful dress. And I put it on, I'm trying it on to put on shoes and like different things like that to see what shoes go with it and all that kind of stuff. But I ended up taking the dress off because I hated how it looked on me. And I looked in the mirror, and for the first time ever in my life, I realized I had to face a hard reality that I didn't like how I looked. And it's the first time, like I said, I've ever felt like this in my entire life. And especially throughout this journey, it's the first time I've ever felt like this throughout this journey as well. And so, I was literally in tears. I cried so bad. Like, I felt like I wanted to scream. And I wanted to scream, but, somebody might call 911, but I wanted to scream because I was so frustrated and I just felt so discouraged. And it was just like, man, I was just, I didn't know how to be in that moment. And so I literally said, like, it's not that I don't feel good physically, it's that I don't feel good in here. And that was a hard reality for me to face, looking in that mirror, because I've never felt like that ever in my life. And so I looked in the mirror, I see all this acne and these bumps on my face. You may not see it right now because I have makeup on. But literally to the point where it mostly made me feel that way because I was washing my face. And so I was using a wash rag to wash my face. And I couldn't even do this, like with the wash rag, because there are literally bumps everywhere on my face, in every area on my face. And so it was just so frustrating because it was like, oh my gosh, there are so many bumps on my face to the point where I can't even wash my face. Like, is this what people are looking at when they see me? Is this what they see when they see me? And more than that, it was like, because for me, like I always say, it doesn't matter how everyone else sees you. What matters is how you see you. And so for me, it was like the most hard reality because I looked at myself in the mirror and I did not like what I saw. And so I thought to myself, after I cried, after all the tears, what do you do when you are looking at yourself and you don't like what you see? What do you do? And, it may not be that you don't like what you see physically or in your appearance. What do you do when you don't like what you see in you, in your character, in your mindset, in what you're doing with your life? And what do you do when you don't like what you see, when you look at yourself? So the other day, I was with one of my friends, and she just got her hair cut. And for me, that's a super exciting thing because I love when people get their hair cut. But, most women, when they get their hair cut, they're not too excited. They're super excited the day of, but then the days after they get their hair cut, they're just like, what did I do? And so, she cut her hair because it was, damaged really bad and just, it was different lengths and all, so she needed to cut her hair. And so she was just kind of, a little uncomfortable with herself about her hair. And so, you know, people always tell me that I say what's on my mind. I don't always say what's on my mind. I have a really awesome filter. But but I do speak my mind to a great extent. But also, if people read my mind or were able to read my mind, oh my God, I would be in trouble. Like, you know, she's talking about her hair and, you know, the hair that she just cut off and the hair that is on her head still and growing, though. And I'm just sitting there like, girl, do we not see this bald head? And so, I mean, I didn't say that, but in my thoughts, I'm just like, girl, you talk about your hair and complaining about your hair and how uncomfortable you feel. Like, girl, I am bald. Like, get over it. But, of course, you know, I don't say things like that, or else I wouldn't have any friends. But, but I understood, you know, how she was feeling because, you know, I've known other women that have cut their hair or have had to cut their hair before, and it's just a really uncomfortable thing. You look like a totally different person. And so I just shared with her, girl, you know, your hair was damaged. Like, this is really great because now it can grow the same length. Now it'll be healthy. It's like a start over. It's awesome. Girl, you just have to trust the process. So what do you do when you are looking at yourself and you don't like what you see? You trust the process. You know, a seed... People love flowers. They love receiving flowers. They love getting, like, planting things. They love seeing the trees in the summer and the grass and all that. But sometimes we forget about the different seasons that, you know, everything goes through. We forget that in order for that flower to be a flower, it's a seed first, and it has to be buried in the ground and stay there in order to sprout up a little bit. And then once it sprouts, it has to be watered and in the sun and that hot sun on it until it can finally grow into that flower. Like, that seed has to trust the process in order for it to grow. And so that's what we have to do. We have to trust the process. It's like when you get a cut on your finger, like a paper cut, a simple paper cut. I used to hate when I got paper cuts. I don't really get them too often now because, you know, everything is technology, so you don't really deal too much with paper anymore. But I used to hate when I would get paper cuts in school because it's like this super thin cut that you forget is there until you wash your hands or something hits it or you're putting lotion on or putting like something on, whatever. You forget that it's there and you remember that it's there because it starts stinging. And so every time you go to do something, it stings, or every time it touches, it stings until it heals and it doesn't sting anymore. But in order for it to heal, the process, it has to go through the process. And so I just want to share that with you guys. Like, there are so many things in your life that you may need to heal from. So many things in your life that you may not look how it, you may not like how it looks right now, but you have to trust that process. How do you trust the process? That is a great question. I'm so happy you asked. Thank you for asking. Number one, you allow yourself to feel. You do not deny those feelings. Allow yourself to feel. Like the other day when I had to cry. I had to let it out. And I think, honestly, that may have been one of the maybe the second or third time that I've actually cried throughout this process, but like just really wanted to scream. Because I just didn't like how I felt. You have to just allow yourself to feel those feelings, because unless you allow yourself to feel those feelings, you won't be able to deal with those feelings. Number two, be resilient. Be resilient, guys. Think about everything. You know, sometimes we go through things and we forget that we've already been through a whole bunch of other stuff that we've already gotten through. God has already brought us through so much in our lives. We forget that we are already 100% survivors. Sorry. We forget that we are already 100% survivors. We have been through so many things in our life. Everything that you've ever been through in your life that has brought you up until the point that you are at in your life now. you have survived. So you're a 100% survivor. So just be resilient. Remember everything that you've already been through, because God has already brought you through it. You've already made it through. Okay? Number 3, do the work. The process requires work, you know. Own your shortcomings. Really examine. Like the other day, I had to really examine myself in the mirror because, you know, I look in the mirror all the time, but then I had to go and do the work of my own search. Okay, like, you know, of course I had to talk to my doctor about different things like that, about what can I do for this, because, you know, there's nothing really that you can do, but they can send you to a dermatologist and do stuff like that. That's a whole other story. Anyway, but I looked up other things that I can do. Like, okay, what can I do? What is within my power that I can do? So you do the work. You find everything that you can do within your power, and you do it. Number 4, embrace. I know, I love this word so much. Of course I was going to say it. Embrace, embrace, embrace. Embrace the unknown, guys. You are exactly where you are supposed to be. You are exactly where you need to be. You are exactly where God wants you to be right now in your life. So embrace your life right now. Embrace whatever it is that you're going through, because you are exactly where God wants you to be, okay? So what do you do when you look at yourself and you don't like what you see? You trust the process, guys, okay? Thank you guys so much for sharing this moment with me, sharing this video with me. Make sure you go and subscribe, share it, like it, go follow me on social media. I cannot wait to see you guys again. Have a great day. Bye.